Good Tuesday morning. Hope you're having a wonderful end of September Tuesday. Let me ask you, who's in your ear? Have you received some type of prophecy? Right? We have to try the spirits for such a time as this. For some reason, I was exposed to a few seconds of Kanye West's interview. You know, he's doing all these Sunday services, and all I have to say is be careful. In the last days, the Lord said that there would be a pouring of his spirit, of his truth, and then there will be false prophets. And more than ever before, we have to be anchored and girded up in his spirit and to have our hearing sharpened so that we can discern between the two. Especially our young people, they're flocking, all ages, to these services. And I'm just familiar with his bio, Kanye's, his mother being an adjunct professor at a university down the street, and how she raised him, and he's a very brilliant young man, gifted. But some of the images that I have seen he portrayed, as far as he being on the the cross, and he says that he is God, and and some other statements that he have made. Be careful, people. Try the spirits. And 1Kings13 talks about a prophet who was fooled. There were actually two prophets. One prophet went to King Jeroboam, and he said, these altars, no, you can't do this. And the king pointed, said, what are you doing? And the prophet stopped his hand, and it said in the verse that the king's hand dried up, verse 4, so that he could not pull it in again to him. It was paralyzed. And then the king was like, oh, prophet, will you please, entreat the Lord to, have use of my hand again? And the man of God, the prophet, verse 6, prayed to the Lord, and the use of his hand was restored. That was a true prophet, because you saw the fruit of the works of the righteousness. Know that you can try a spirit by what is the product, right? The produce. What's coming from their mouth, their life. How are they reacting in situations? The Lord would give you discernment. Now, there was an old prophet that heard about this younger prophet, and he was like, oh, bring him here. He sent his sons to get him. And the Lord beforehand told this young prophet, the new prophet, or the young prophet, do not eat any bread here, do not drink water, right? He got clear directions from the Lord. But then this is something that you have to be very careful. When people say, oh, I'm a prophet too. Yeah, I have the gift. Oh, I have the gift of discernment and all that. And it said that the old prophet in verse 18, yeah, I'm a prophet also as thou art. And an angel spake to me, bringing the word. And he said, yeah, bring this new prophet or this young prophet over to my house so we can break bread. But it said, the last 5 words of that verse 18, but he lied unto him. He was a prophet, so-called. Be careful, people of God, children of God, because especially for our young people coming up, because this is September 24, Psalms 144 in verse 12 talks about that we want our sons to be as plants grown up in their youth. We want them to have a future, and our daughters to be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace. How do they do that? They have to learn how to war in the Lord and have the power in the Spirit of God. And verse 1 of that chapter says, blessed be the Lord, my strength. They have to rely on the Lord, which teacheth their hands. The Lord would teach your hands to war out here and their fingers to fight, because there's so many crazy spirits out here. And our desire, I know my desire is for young people, my son, is that they will come to have this witness and this testimony. In verse 2, Psalms 144, that they will be able to utter that the Lord is their goodness, their fortress, their high tower, their deliverer, their shield, in whom they trust. And they will be able to do great work. So what happened to this young prophet back in 1Kings13 is because the prophet didn't listen to the Lord's original assignment and commandment, He went to break bread with this guy who was lying, and the lion destroyed him on the path in verse 24. And it was prophesied that even the old man said, because you ate and you didn't follow the Lord, that your carcass will not have a proper burial. What am I saying? It's a confusing story. Never read it, but I had to read it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, Lord, what are you saying? Be careful. Tell the people. Try the spirits. Make sure that they are rooted and grounded in me, because there are so many influences on social media, so many people out here saying they're this and that. But let us have a direct relationship with the Lord. Amen. All right. Have a wonderful day, Tuesday, and stay connected so that you could do great things for our God. Enjoy.